Her name was Samantha Ray. Before the scandals, before her face was plastered across every news channel, she was a rising star in Los Angeles. Her striking looks and sudden fame in the adult film industry made her a sensation. But fame is a fragile thing. Years ago, Samantha walked away from it all after falling in love with Daniel Clark, a quiet, kind, single father who worked as a camera technician. He didn't care about her past. He cared about her heart. Their life together was simple. They soon had 2 children, and their home in Redwood Valley wasn't glamorous, but it was safe. It was their sanctuary. Until one terrifying night, everything crashed down around them. It all started on a cold Monday morning. Daniel didn't show up for work. His boss called, but his phone went straight to voicemail. A concerned coworker decided to drive by Daniel's house to check on him. What he found sent a chill down his spine. The front door was slightly ajar. He cautiously pushed it open. Inside, the house was eerily silent. The kids were gone. Samantha was gone, and Daniel was nowhere to be seen. Neighbors later told police they'd heard shouting the night before. They recognized Samantha's voice, panicked and desperate. They brushed it off as just another argument about money or custody, the normal struggles of a young family. They never imagined it was something so much darker. Within 24 hours, the story exploded across social media. Samantha Ray, the former adult film star turned mother of 2, instantly became the prime suspect in her partner's disappearance. The narrative was simple, sensational, and damning. But the most chilling twist was yet to come. It came from their oldest child, 6-year-old Aiden. He was found wandering alone near a gas station, miles from home, looking dazed and lost. When the police gently approached him, he said something that froze every officer to their core. "Mummy told me Daddy's never coming back." The police found Samantha 2 towns over. She was sitting alone in her car behind a deserted grocery store, shaking, exhausted, and covered in dirt. She didn't resist. She insisted she hadn't run away. She claimed she was just protecting her kids. But protecting them from what? Detectives pressed her for hours, but Samantha just kept repeating the same cryptic sentence, her voice flat and trembling. Daniel wasn't Daniel anymore. At the house, officers conducted a more thorough search. This time they found clear signs of a violent struggle. Picture frames were shattered, furniture was overturned, and a lamp lay in pieces on the floor. But there was still no body, no sign of Daniel. He was officially listed as a missing person, and the world was pointing its finger directly at Samantha. Because of Samantha's past, the public's judgment was swift and vicious. Old videos resurfaced. Tabloids ran headlines painting her as dangerous, unstable, and an unfit mother. Armchair detectives on the internet spun wild theories, each more monstrous than the last, convinced she had done the unthinkable. The court of public opinion had already declared her guilty. But the truth was far more complicated and far more terrifying than any rumor. 2 weeks into the desperate search for Daniel, detectives uncovered something that changed everything. They found evidence that Daniel had been secretly communicating with a dangerous online group. This group was obsessed with so-called perfect families and purity standards. They specifically targeted women with pasts in the adult film industry, labeling them as corrupt influencers. Daniel had told them everything about Samantha, where they lived, about the children, every detail of her former life. The messages investigators found were chilling. Strangers were telling Daniel, "You must cleanse your house. The children deserve better. Do what needs to be done." A horrifying realization began to dawn on the police. Daniel hadn't just disappeared, he had been preparing for something deadly. With this new, terrifying context, detectives re-interviewed Samantha. This time, she broke down and told them the full story. For weeks, Daniel had been acting strange. He became secretive with his phone, locking it whenever she was near. She'd catch him staring at the kids while they slept, a strange look in his eyes. She even found a hidden backpack he'd been packing with supplies. On the night he vanished, everything came to a head. Spells. He confronted her in the kitchen, his voice filled with a cold fury she'd never heard before. He accused her of destroying their family with her past. Then, he grabbed a knife. The children screamed. In a blind panic, Samantha grabbed her kids and ran out the back door, stumbling into the dark woods behind their house. She had no idea what Daniel planned to do, only that the man she loved was gone, replaced by a monster. They hid in the freezing woods until dawn. Terrified that he would follow them, Samantha took the kids and fled, driving aimlessly, just trying to put distance between her children and the man their father had become. Armed with this new information, detectives returned to the house one last time. They searched the property again, this time focusing on the shed in the backyard. What they found inside finally solved the case. There were tools laid out, ropes, and disturbing, hateful messages carved into the wooden walls, the same phrases from the online group. It was undeniable. Daniel had been planning to hurt his own family. But he was gone, having possibly fled into the forest himself after Samantha and the children escaped his grasp. Even with this evidence, the public narrative was hard to change. Samantha was arrested. The charges were devastating: child endangerment, kidnapping, and suspicion of involvement in Daniel's disappearance. She was a mother who had saved her children, now facing the possibility of losing them forever. But then, just 3 days before her trial was set to begin, a hiker made a grim discovery deep in the redwood forest. Hidden under a pile of branches, ravaged by the cold, was a man's body. It was Daniel. The coroner's report revealed the final truth. He had died from exposure to the elements, likely after being injured during the struggle in the house. There was no elaborate murder plot. There was only panic, violence, and a man whose mind had been twisted and consumed by a dangerous online ideology. Samantha was immediately released. All charges were dropped. She left Redwood Valley with her children, moving to a new city to start fresh, a place where no one knew her name or her past. She wasn't a fallen star, or a suspect, or a scandal. She was a survivor. A mother who fought a darkness no one else saw coming until it was almost too late. And in the end, the truth of what happened in that quiet house was far more frightening than any of the rumors. Thanks for watching. If you found this story compelling, please like this video and subscribe for more.